welcome to the Good Morning Show, and thank you after GMS. This isn't the Good Morning Show, is it?
Kind of like it.
It's the better part of the Good Morning Show, when we don't really care what we say, just joking. No, this is after GMS. This is kind of the laid back version of the Good Morning Show. Thank you for joining us. Clearly, I am not together this morning. I'm Tracy McCain, though, and I'm here. Megan Malaris is in the studio. Stacey Spivey is working from home, and Tarana Kirksey is as well. So, Meg, I don't know about you, but my mind is in 10,000 different places.
Hey, it must be the cooler weather, right, Tarana? I mean, it feels like winter, in my opinion, out there, probably because we were just so warm all summer, and then all of a sudden, it just feels a little unseasonable for September.
Yeah, it's almost like a switch was flipped, and all of a sudden we went from hot and muggy to kind of cool, crisp, and dry out there. And we'll have another day like that today. We'll see plenty of sunshine, high temperatures in the mid 60s when you factor in the humidity, or when you factor in the wind that could gust up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. It's going to feel even chillier than that. Tonight will be another chilly night with lows in the 40s. And then we'll start a warming trend as we go through the rest of the week. We're in the low 70s for highs for the first day of fall. And then we'll see high temperatures close to average for this time of the year for Wednesday and Thursday, with highs in the upper 70s. Late in the week, I'm getting more and more evidence that would suggest that we would have a decent chance of rainfall somewhere in the Friday to Sunday time frame. So I'm probably going to make some adjustments to those rain chances by the time the noon rolls around. So that's a little insight into what I'm thinking on that point. So if you do have plans outside Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you'll definitely want to keep a close eye on the forecast the next few days. In the meantime, let's a quick look at the current 7-day forecast.
Well, thank you to all of our friends at home who let me know that my head was cut off again with the live bug. Appreciate it. So I just moved from one side to the other. Hopefully that fixes it. Let me know, because what you're seeing at home is something totally different than what I'm seeing. All these messages, Megan, started coming in saying your head's gone. And I'm like, what? My head's missing?
Hey, I think you fixed it now, so we're all good. Okay.
Yeah. Let us know. All right, we're going to jump into our first conversation here. Think back 6 months if you can. Remember, we were learning more and more about COVID-19. No lockdowns yet. Life still kind of normal. By all accounts, we were pretty much unaffected at that point. Then it hit us. Everything closed. So this morning we want to know, since then, what's changed the most for you? While you're commenting, Stacey has more on how we got to this point.
Yeah, it's really crazy to think just 6 months ago, schools were fully open, bars and restaurants at full capacity. And like you said, life was what we considered normal. But then on March 3rd, the state reported its first case of COVID-19. Since then, over 190,000 North Carolinians have caught the virus, and over 167,000 have recovered. More than 3,200 have died. Things like wearing a mask and social distancing have just become a part of our daily lives. And let us know what has changed the most in your life in the past 6 months. And you can write that right now in our comments section. It could be work and school, or maybe traveling, your social functions, to your overall health and hygiene habits. I'm sure that a lot has.
Oh no, it looks like we've lost Stacey's signal. As you can see, she's still pretty, but she's frozen.
She's always pretty.
She'll always be pretty, but she's frozen right now. So we'll work to get her signal back. But I think, Megan, what she was saying is, the concerts stopped rolling through town, the tournaments were called off, schools canceled, businesses canceled, life kind of went upside down almost immediately in the middle of March. So what's changed in your life since then?
Well, I think the biggest change was not only becoming a parent in the middle of this pandemic. Well, I guess my son was born in January, so right before all of this happened, and we probably would have been home a lot anyway, just with a newborn. But working from home was obviously something I would never have thought that I would have done, especially coming back to work after maternity leave, essentially staying at home and working from home. So that was, I think, the biggest change for me. And I think it's been a big change for a lot of people who maybe thought that they would never have had a job that would have allowed them to work from home. And I think a lot of businesses are really taking that to heart too, seeing, okay, maybe this works in some capacity. We can cut costs here and there, and maybe cut down on travel expenses. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these lessons learned in this aspect are going to carry on for years ahead.
Yeah, I can imagine that this was something that really changed everybody some way. I just read a comment from one of our friends in the chat that said that she and her husband had to move out of state for work. So, you know, whether they were minor changes or major changes, people were certainly impacted. So Stacy, we have your shot back up. Just want to mic check 1, 2. Can you hear us?
I can hear y'all. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Glad to have you back. Although Megan and I commented, you look even better frozen. I mean, just a beautiful girl.
Oh, thank you.
So what has changed in the last 6 months, do you think?
Well, speaking of changes, working from home, and I think that's the first time since I've been working from home that my shot has completely frozen. So 6 months of success until today, right? But I mean, a lot has, you know, become different. I've mentioned this several times before. The majority of my family, actually my entire family, on my side at least, my husband's side is kind of spread out everywhere, but my family's in Arkansas, and typically throughout the year I'd be traveling back and forth, going to see my family and my friends that are there, and of course that's all halted because of the coronavirus, and especially with my grandmother and my mom being at high risk, just being careful that, you know, I don't go see them and potentially spread it to them. I did get to see them once, though, for my brother's wedding, which was nice, but that's definitely been the biggest change, and I am looking forward to the day that I can get back on a plane and feel comfortable to go and see them. I know that a lot of people have the same kind of situation, but maybe it's not necessarily getting on a plane. I can speak this morning, but maybe they have a family member or a friend that's in a nursing home, and they just haven't really been able to see them and go and visit them.
Yeah, and you know, Tarana, you've worked from home except for a few, you know, major storm alerts where you had to come into the building. So I'm sure that was a big change for you, whether you liked it or not. I know the answer to that, but you know, that was still a change.
Yeah, it certainly was a change. And, you know, I'm definitely honest. You know, I've always wondered if it was possible to successfully work from home with the career that I had long term. And it looks like it is certainly not only possible, but in some ways it's more favorable. So that's definitely something that has changed. But, you know, going back to just kind of the bigger picture here, you know, obviously this is not a positive situation overall. You know, I don't want to get away from that. You know, we all have friends and family who have been extremely negatively impacted by everything, whether it's health wise or whether it's a reduction in hours in their job, or in some cases, you know, there's some people I know that have lost their jobs entirely. So definitely, again, not an ideal situation, but as we've mentioned, there are things that you can take from any situation, good or bad, that can be a positive moving forward. And I do think that, again, working from home, the companies that are willing to make that part of their compensation package will probably be able to attract talent and employees that they wouldn't have otherwise, because for some people that's a big benefit. For others, they'd rather go in. So having both options in many industries where your job is more so over the internet or more so computer based or digitally based might be something that will continue moving forward in many industries. Also, you know, shopping is a little bit different. We were joking about this yesterday, but I was somewhat serious. You know, the one-way arrows in the stores, that needs to stay, and people need to actually follow those. People have such a hard time. I'm just sit back and observe sometimes. Just follow the arrows. They tell you where to go. And if you actually shop in an organized pattern like that, it's much more efficient than just kind of going willy-nilly, looking at something and coming back and going back over here. Just, you know, it's just organized. That's just me, you know. That's probably not going to stay because people don't like shopping like that, obviously. But we'll see if that happens as well. But, you know, on a serious note, I think just you know, moving forward, there's probably going to be maybe more cleanliness, which is a good thing. Wipe stuff down more. There'll probably be more, you know, self-sufficiency with families. You know, I think there are some people that maybe didn't really have an emergency fund built up that had the ability to do so before this. There may be some people that didn't really have, you know, emergency food or other things like that to be able to be self-sufficient for a few weeks and things like that. So I think that those are some of the positive things that may come out of this moving forward.
Oh yeah, I agree with Tarana. I really hope that this sense of germ consciousness stays in effect long after this. I mean, I am just glad that it's no longer going to be so-called weird to wear a mask on an airplane. You know, I'm always germ conscious. I always have the hand sanitizer, wipe down everything, especially on public means of transportation. And now it's going to be just normal to take those extra precautions. And I'm glad of that. Hopefully we can not only cut down on the COVID-19 spread, but also other illnesses like the flu, like the average cold. I mean, maybe we can get a handle on some of these other things that keep people out of work and keep people out of school on a regular basis.
Well, on a more positive note, I really struggled with the first few days of the lockdown, you know, just trying to adjust, find a place for my kids to learn and play, changing my home environment into like an in-home, you know, daycare for my children. And then I settled down and I got used to it. And then I started really enjoying the quality time I was spending at home with my family. I took those opportunities that we didn't have and I turned them into blessings, you know, moments of just spending time that I didn't normally have with my family. Well, I'm having a baby. So we'll talk about that more later, but you know, that's also a positive thing that came out of this, but I did enjoy spending that time at home with my family. Still do. I mean, nothing is quite back to normal yet. So, you know, we still get those moments together that we didn't have. So that's on a positive note.
Yes, and we are so thrilled for you, Tracy. I know you announced this morning some congratulations are continuing to pour in on this feed. So we're excited, and I know you said that your two little ones at home are super thrilled to be big brother and big sister.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute.
All right, let's get your day started with your morning headlines this morning. Election season with a lot of important races this year. On November 3rd, the choice is yours to vote for the U.S. Senate, state governor, our state courts, as well as President of the United States, among many other races. One of the most competitive races, if you've not noticed so far by the ads on TV, is the one for U.S. Senate. Republican incumbent Thom Tillis facing off against Lieutenant Colonel Cal Cunningham. You can watch my interviews with them on the WFMY YouTube channel. Another big race for the state Supreme Court and Court of Appeals.
Knowing about the backgrounds of these judges, knowing what their records have been, is particularly important. These courts are making decisions about not only how you vote, but whether or not there's a cap on how much you can tax.
Well, the State Board of Elections is also sending out this, so look for it in your mailbox. It's a voter guide for all North Carolina households. This is a guide that'll have information on the candidates so you know more about who you're voting for on Election Day. Today, Panthers star running back Christian McCaffrey is expected to have an MRI on his ankle. The Panthers running back limped off the field in the fourth quarter of yesterday's game. Head coach Matt Rule says he does not know how serious the injury is. The Panthers lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-17 Sunday. Not a pretty game. Both of the touchdowns were scored by McCaffrey.
Well, in your national headlines, a live look over the White House in Washington, D.C., where Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is being mourned on Capitol Hill as well. Republicans and Democrats remain divided on whether to wait to fill her seat on the Supreme Court until after the presidential election. Justice Ginsburg passed away Friday at 87 years old. She served on the Supreme Court for nearly 30 years. The Bobcat fire burning northeast of Los Angeles is expected to continue to grow today due to gusty winds and low humidity. The fire has scorched around 156 square miles, and authorities issued more evacuation orders over the weekend. Nearly 19,000 firefighters continue to battle more than 24 major wildfires in California. Well, I have some big news from my family. I'm excited to share again. I'm having a baby. We are all so incredibly happy. Josiah loving his second Big Brother promotion. He's such a great big brother to his little sister Simone. And Simone is just beaming, probably more excited to be able to boss somebody else who's younger than her around. She already bosses me and her dad around, so it'll be interesting to see how she handles the new baby. But as a family, we couldn't be more excited as we welcome our new addition in February 2021. So I surprised Stacy this morning, at least. She didn't know that I was expecting. I guess I hit it a little bit well. But Stacy, I have to say, surprise!
We are so excited for you. I know the two little ones are excited too to have either a little brother or a little sister. I texted you to find out. I'm so anxious to hear what the gender may be, and of course we got to wait a little bit longer, but a lot of people already chiming in saying congratulations to you. Jason saying that you hit it well for 4 months.
Yeah, that's a little iPad trick. My friend Dana, who's one of my greatest friends in the whole world, she was in my wedding and continues to be a great source of support. You know, I told her months ago when I wasn't showing, and she was just like so excited for me. So over the last few weeks, she's been watching me on the live chats and saying like, oh, I can see a little bump, or like, oh, you're not fooling anybody with that iPad in front of your belly. You know, so she's been kind of keeping me updated on when I was showing so that I could, you know, tell the news. But I waited for as long as possible. I think we're 18 weeks now. So, you know, in a few weeks, we'll have our big scan, which will reveal whether we're having a boy or a girl. And, you know, we'll keep you updated. I know, Stacy, you texted me and said the 23rd is a great day because it's your birthday.
Yeah. That's right. I would love to share my birthday with the little boy or girl, whatever they may be. I guess now we can go ahead and get to our second conversation. Sorry, I lost my spot in my iPad, but I think I've gotten back to it. I have to give credit to Triad for this line. When it's chilly outside, it's time for chili inside, right? This week, starting with temperatures in the 40s. So to knock off the chill, I had to make some chili, or at least assist my husband in making the chili, because I'm not a good cook. But we want to know, what is your favorite cold weather comfort food or drinks? I made this, or helped to make this big pot of chili, and I asked you on Facebook for your favorites. Bobby writes, homemade beef stew with vegetables. Candace says she loves hot Italian dishes and she made lasagna yesterday. Jim writes, my wife's chicken and noodles crock pot supper. And a lot of people wrote in saying that they love chili this time of year. Turkey chili, spicy chili, taco chili, and of course, with a grilled cheese sandwich on the side. So let us know, what's your favorite cold weather food or drink?
There's so many. All right, Tarana, I guess since she gave homage to you, we should start with you, right?
I'm telling you, I take, a few weeks to really, figure out these sayings. I go around and take a vote, and that was one of the ones I came up with after some massive research. No, I'm just kidding. I made it up. But, I think my favorite cold weather food would have to be, I do like chili and maybe, just soup, like really hearty soup, like potato soup. Favorite cold weather drink, I can't say on TV. So I'll just say coffee. We'll go with coffee. Just regular coffee with nothing else added to it at all. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Coffee with no something else added in there.
Nothing else.
Sure.
No, just pure coffee. I would never.
Never.
No. Hey, it's okay. You are 21 and up, so it's fine.
There you go.
Hey, I like hot chocolate on a cold day. This morning was super crisp, and I wish that I had packed another cup of coffee or something to go, because it was chilly outside when I got in my car. Had the heat cranking at 3:30 in the morning, because that's typical in September in North Carolina. And then, tomorrow is going to be the air conditioning or something of that sort. That's just how we are this time of year, right? But I'm all about soup too. Last night for dinner, I defrosted some tomato soup I had made in the summer. Obviously, it was more appropriate last night than it was in the middle of June. So it tasted pretty good, probably better than it did when I first made it. So Stacy, how did that chili that your husband made turn out?
I have to give him credit, because I'm not a good chef at all. He's great, and he found this wonderful recipe, and you put bacon in chili. I know it sounds weird, but I promise it's delicious. So good. And I finished it yesterday. So Heather says that she loves soup and cornbread. Both Debbie and Kara say coffee. Melinda says spiced apple cider. That sounds really good this morning. And let's see, some people were saying stew. Debbie says homemade vegetable beef soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, and my Diet Dr. Pepper. Gotta have the Diet Dr. Pepper. And Joe said had shrimp stew Saturday night and chicken stew last night. I love this time of year when you get all those warm comfort foods.
Yeah, I have to agree with Heather Harness. I love making cornbread and corn chowder. Two of my favorite things. I make a really good corn chowder. It's so thick and creamy, and the potatoes are thick, and they're, I cut them up myself, and it's just so good, so good. If you don't have mine, go to Mimi's Cafe and have theirs. Ours compare.
Ooh.
Well,
that just made me think, Tracy,
Yeah.
do you have any pregnancy cravings right now?
So I eat anything, any time of day. That's my craving. No, and it's interesting because with my son, I crave pasta all the time, and he does not eat pasta at all right now. My daughter, I craved meat and potatoes, and she does not enjoy like steak or hamburger or anything like that. So this one, I'm like loving everything. And so I'm like, okay, I'm finally gonna have that great eater that I always wanted in this third one. So yeah, no specific cravings.
But it is your third
know.
winter baby, so
Yeah.
hey, warm food,
Yeah.
an appropriate conversation.
If you put it in front of my face, I'm probably going to eat it. I'm hungry all the time. So, but I'm trying not to gain as much pregnancy weight as I did before. And so far, so good. But you'll see.
You look great.
I always try to look like a water buffalo by the end.
Never. You look great.
Thanks. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. We were talking about that cold weather. Taran, tomorrow, the first official day of fall, and it feels like fall today.
Yeah, it certainly does. It feels like the middle of fall out there right now with temperatures in the 40s that will end up in the mid 60s this afternoon. It'll be a little bit breezy from time to time, so that'll add a little extra chill to the air. High temperatures tomorrow for the first day of fall in the low 70s, and then we're back close to average for this time of the year with highs in the upper 70s for Wednesday and Thursday. It looks like rain chances go up late in the week. Right now, I have a 20 to 30% chance advertised there, but I'm probably going to crank that up a little bit by the time the noon rolls around. Just going to look at a little bit more data before I make that decision. So just be prepared to see that. In the meantime, that's the last look at your current 7-day forecast.
Interesting to see it warming up once we hit fall, right? I know a few pools, especially neighborhood pools, are extending their opening day well beyond the Labor Day holiday because of COVID-19. It delayed the start of pool season, but it might be too chilly to go for the remainder of September. So long summer, it seems.
I don't know. I think we haven't seen the last of it yet.
You're probably
We're gonna have
right.
an October surprise.
You're probably right.
We will see. But hey, thanks so much for everybody who's chiming in on these conversations and joining us on After GMS. We love this time of day where we can just kind of relax and talk candidly with you about all the hot topics that we are talking about this morning. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place.
Take care, everybody, and stay safe.